One of the next steps I need to take is drilling 2 holes for the hot and cold water supply through a floor tile. So this would be directly in front of the sink. So here's a tile that was broken, so I took that little piece and I clamped a board to my workbench with these clamps, and then I put some screws in just to hold that piece from moving around. And I have some diamond drills right here. What those are is those are little diamond particles on the end there. You can see right here on this end, that's diamond, and that'll cut through porcelain. So I got, these are 22 millimeter. This is a little bit bigger than a PEX pipe. So that's going to be perfect, but I'm going to practice on a smaller one. I have an 18 millimeter because I imagine these are kind of a sacrificial bit. Some of that diamond is going to come off of there. So I'm going to reserve those for the finished cut. I'm going to use a smaller one for a practice cut. So I put one in my drill here. This is an 18 millimeter. And rather than cut out all the material, it just cuts out a circle. So you're only removing the circumference of the hole. And you put the drill on the slowest speed, which is number 1. And you got to put water on the cut. They suggest, from the technique I saw, you can take a little piece of clay and make a ring around where you want to drill and pour some water in there to keep it water cooled. Or just keep pouring water in there, or take a piece of foam, use it as a guide and fill that up with water. So I'm going to figure out a way to keep this wet, and then I'm going to give it a practice cut. Alright, what I did was I took a piece of PVC pipe, use these screws just to hold it in there. Now I can pour some water in there just to keep it kind of wet, and let's see what happens. So you start at an angle, and once you get a bite, then get it straight up. So let's see what happens. Let some water back in there. Ooh, that was looking pretty good. I think I need a little more water in there though. Okay. There we go. So there's the plug still stuck in there. Okay, I'm back. So here's, I rinsed it off in the sink. So that's what the hole looks like. And it's not perfect, but doesn't need to be. So the PEX pipe can pass through the floor tile and down into the cellar with a water supply. So there's enough wiggle room there to, get it up through the floor. So I think that's going to work pretty well. And I have a little diamond burr I can put on my Dremel and just get rid of any sharp edges, because that way if it's side loaded at all, we don't want any sharp edges here. Okay, the second part of the simulation is, once I have the hole in the tile, I have to drill a hole through the wooden floor. So this is a spade bit. What I have to do is figure out where the center of that hole is and make sure that this bit doesn't hit the tile. So I'm going to eyeball it. So it looks like it's going to miss the tile. So let's try it out, see what happens. Now I got to be in high speed for this one. Up. So that's what that'll look like, and then the pipe will go down through the tile and the floor. So there we go. So the piece of wood will provide some cushioning, because this spade bit was a little smaller than the hole saw. So that looks like we got a done deal. So that's how it looks. Let me show you from the top side. So here we are from the top side. You can see how that looks. So we have a hole cut in the tile and a hole cut in the floor, and it's fairly centered. And the pipe will go right in the middle like that. So it looks like it's going to be just fine. Go. I'll sit on that one. I'll sit on that one too. Alright, I'll drill down a little further. There we go. Alright. Now I gotta get that water out of there. There we go. Nice and smooth, no sharp edges. The access holes for the hot and cold water pipes are drilled, and the way that works is this is the PEX pipe, and that'll just fit straight on in there. Here's the cold. That's the cold side. So I did run to a little surprise when I went down there to see where the holes came out, because our old sink was offset to the right about 7 inches. So it wasn't centered on the window, it was offset. So what I'm going to do is go down there and show you where these came out. These 2 copper pipes you see on either side of the screen, those are the original copper supply lines, the hot and cold water lines to the original sink. We capped them with shark bite fittings. You just press them on and that's that. There's no soldering, there's no glue, there's nothing. You just push them down and you're done. So the new holes for the PEX pipe are to the left and the right. The red pipe is hot and the cold pipe is blue. So they come up pretty close to this PVC pipe, but if you look at it, we're nowhere near it. We're off to the left a couple of inches. And if I come over this way, you can, it's kind of hard to see, but it's not coming down right on top of this PVC pipe either. You know, it's to the left of that. So we got this angle here, looks like it's right on top of the pipe, but it's not. We got plenty of space there, and also in this other direction we have plenty of space. So I just run those longer pieces of PEX so they come past the pipe down here by the sill plate, and I can make my cold expansion fittings down over here where they're a little easier to get at. Good thing about PEX is you can make your connections down lower and just snake everything up. You don't have to make your connections right where they punch through. You can pull them down and just push them up. It's like a garden hose. They're very flexible. It makes installation pretty easy when you have a tight spot, so not a big deal. And they're far enough away from the clean out where that's not going to interfere with me taking off that cap with the square plug right here. This is where you would unscrew this plug and run a snake through there if you got a clog. So that's not a problem either. So we're ready to hook up the sink once we have the counter installed along with the sink. These are the hot water pipes. I had to drill some holes to get up underneath the sink. And Steve will have to drill some holes in the cabinet so that these can continue up through the floor past the tile and into the cabinet. Okay, the reason I moved this is there's a little more overhang with the trailer in long ways. So Steve has like a good 2 feet on either side of the trailer. Before, when it was the other way, he only had 6 inches. It'd be easy to fall off and break an ankle. So he's got plenty of standing space to do the closure kit on the left and right side, and you can stand on a box to do the top and push the box out of the way to do the bottom. So I think we're all set here. This makes it easy as it can be. Well, I'm off to work again. I left Steve in a good way. The trailer's moved in an ideal position so he has the best footing to work on the closure kit for that window. I also got the holes drilled through the floor for the hot and cold water supply for the sink. Steve's currently insulating the kitchen wall on the driveway side, and he's going to put the sheetrock in, and then he can get rid. That'll set him up to place the first cabinet, which is going to be the sink cabinet. So I got him all set up so he can do that unimpeded. He wanted that water line drilled in there first, so he could, put the cabinet in, and he'll drill a hole above it so the PEX pipe can go through the floor and then through the bottom of the cabinet and up to the sink. So he's good to go on that. There's nothing holding him back to get to that point. Whether he makes it that far today or not, that remains to be seen. But it's a beautiful day out. He's probably going to take a couple of breaks to enjoy the sunshine and have some lunch. So he'll get as far as he can, and then we'll work it again tomorrow. Hope you guys all had a great Easter. See you next time.